Hey, steamrollers. I love steamrollers. They're so fun and I love watching them smush things. What? Oh, it's not that kind of steamrollers this video? Oh, it's glass steamrollers. Today we're going to be taking a look at glass steamrollers. Here's one that I just made yesterday. And here's the tutorial video for those of you who would like to learn how to make one. Okay, time to get into the video. I already have the end open on this. I used this tube for a previous project, so it has a nice little white swirly going, which I figure would be awesome to add to our piece. So I'm kind of doing a cheat here. Normally I close down this end, but I'm using that graphite reamer to plug the end instead, and I'm spot heating where I'm going to be blowing out the bowl. So first I'm going to pop a hole, make a blister. So spot heat where you want your bowl to be, and I'm going to puff out that blister. You can see it popping up right there, looking good. And then I heat the tip of that glass right in the fire, and boom, popped it open right there. This saves us, like I said before, the task of having to close down and reopen that end. You could do that if you want. I'm also using my blow hose to simplify this process. Makes it way easier if you use the blow hose, guys. So if you can, always opt for the blow hose. Right now I'm doing the bowl push. Heat around the hole. You don't want to heat the hole that you just blew or you might close it back up. So heat like the glass around that hole. I'm using a little bit more of a propane rich flame right now for that nice gentle heat. And just go ahead and sink it as much as you want. Of course, you don't want it to touch the bottom of the tube or you kind of messed it up at that point. Now what I'm going to be doing is adding those two little feet on the bottom. I do like adding the feet. It keeps it from rolling around and I think it looks kind of cool. Go ahead, make sure you get both pieces of glass hot. You do want this to be hot sealed on. And if you don't make a proper hot seal, you do risk cracking your glass. So make sure you get your tube hot and your rod hot and touch those two together. Flame cut off the end. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. You want this to flow seamlessly into your glass. If it's not flowing seamlessly, you need to go ahead and reheat and take those creases out. A lot of people don't put enough heat when they do attachments. It's always better, in my opinion, to put too much heat than not enough. And again, that's just my opinion. I'm sure there will be people to roll in the comments and give me crap about it. But this is the way I do it. I'm attaching another one, so it has that good strong stability. Go ahead, flame cut. Make sure you use the flame to cut to avoid pulling thin stringers. And now I'm just going to put some nice heat in there. Make sure all that glass is nice and hot and happy. And the next step we're going to do is opening up the end. And this is heavy wall tubing that I'm using, 25mm heavy wall. So it's going to take some heat before that glass starts to turn molten and we can move it. Take your time. I gently warm this up to avoid shocking and cracking the glass. I also did take this tube straight out of the kiln. I had it preheating because when you work with heavy wall tubing, you want to make sure that it's warmed up beforehand or you can risk shocking and cracking that glass. So now just go ahead. I'm not using any pressure with the reamer. I'm just letting the tube roll on the reamer to get that open nice and smooth. And graphite is one of those rare tools that you can temporarily place in the flame, so you might see me doing that. And boom, we have our end nice and open now for good airflow. Now what I'm going to be doing is working off the claw grabbers. And it's not my favorite way to make this, but it does get the job done. I never really like holding glass with the claw grabbers. I feel that it doesn't make such a good solid connection. Or it could be that mine are just, I just need a new pair and mine are just worn out. What I'm doing now, I'm going to heat up some of this glass and pull it into a taper. And this is going to be where I'm going to make the mouthpiece and break the pipe off. While that glass is getting hot, let's do the dad joke for today's video. And that is, what do you call a wizard who's good with ceramics? And that's Harry Potter. I wonder if he is good with ceramics. Let me know in the comments below if you think Harry Potter is good at ceramics, people. Okay, so the glass is going to start to kind of get all wobbly on you. Don't panic or freak out. Just hold it as steady as you can in the fire. And gently pull your hands apart to make that nice smooth taper. Like I said before, this is heavy wall tubing, so it does take more heat to move. There we go. Pull that a nice taper. I did not move the torch back and forth. I only heated the glass in one spot to make that taper nice and small. I didn't want a giant taper. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is use our diamond shears, which I should have had nearby, but I didn't. And now I have to go hunt around for them. And now, just going to go ahead and reheat where that glass was hot. Grab it with the diamond shears, and you want to give a good squeeze as you do this. You want to rotate and squeeze and give some taps to the glass to shock and crack that off. Tap the tube, tap the shears. I'm tapping everything to make this happen. There we go. Breaks off pretty clean. I'm going to remove a little bit of extra glass because there is a little bit of unevenness on the end. You can do this using tweezers, or you could use a pair of shears to cut it off. I'm going to use a rod to just heat and pull a little bit of glass off. See, I was like, let's go with the reamer. No, tweezers. No, that's not working for me either. Here we go. Glass rod. That's what I want to do. And it does depend on the situation on which tool I use. Now, you don't want to close this down because it's going to be a pain to open back up. So make sure you don't close down your hole as you're heating the glass. And right now what I'm doing is making what's called an ash catcher. And I'm just going to push that glass in, kind of like I'm seeking a bowl, except I'm using my reamer in this case. And I'm going to push that glass inside. And this way that hot ash will not hit you in the mouth, which is a nice convenience to have. This way you don't eat that gross stuff from your pipe. Last step is to give this a nice gentle paddle to flatten everything out and make it look beautiful. And that is it for the steamroller. It's going to go in the kiln for annealing, and here's the finished piece. Came out pretty awesome, I have to say, and I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. Thanks so much for checking out the video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas that you want to see, and I'll see you in the next video.